What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're checking out the market prices for One Piece OP-09, the latest set to come out in Japanese. It released about a week and a half ago now, and don't worry, I'm not quoting the TCG Republic prices. These are generally overpriced. I just like using it because it is a good way to display the cards and the images of the cards if you compare it to some Japanese websites, for example, and it still gives you a good list of priority in terms of the most expensive cards. So ignore some of the values you can see on the screen here. We will look into what exactly they are, but as you can see, obviously Goldie Roger, the gold manga rare, is the chase card, is the most expensive, but obviously Luffy, Shanks, and we've got 4 other manga rares. They are still holding high prices as well. I guess if you have more manga rares, it's obviously harder to pull the one you want, right? So it kind of makes them more rare in that sense compared to a set that just has one standard manga rare. So that might also contribute to some of these high prices, because this is the Japanese release, and for Japanese these prices are quite high compared to some of the other sets. Now obviously Luffy, Shanks, you've got some really staple popular characters here that are always going to demand a high price regardless, but the fact that they're probably harder to pull as well. You've also got the gold manga rare as well. Like, it does look like a fantastic set, but let's see where prices have kind of settled for some of these manga cards, some of the chase cards of the set. So first up, we are going to look on eBay actually and see if there's any sold listings on here. A great example actually, OP-08, we had this manga rare here in a PSA 10. It sold for $500, right? That's the biggest card, the manga rare off the set. And obviously in this set, we've got a gold manga rare, obviously much harder to pull and a new sort of rarity on its own. But just that raw sold for $3,500 US, pretty much near release. And then just a week and a few days after that, we had another sale from Japan for pretty much the same price, just a little bit, $150 less. Again, obviously raw copy of the card from Japan, so potentially you're going to be paying import fees on this. You're probably looking at 20% import fees on top, depending on the seller and if they declare the value. But yeah, obviously, compared to the card from the previous set, miles in terms of value, right? It's not even anywhere close. Now obviously that is eBay. We're just going to quickly look at listings. That's 2 sold listings, but we're going to see what is actually out there. And as you can see, there are some available around the same sort of price. We've even got graded ones here sat at pretty much double the price. I wouldn't expect that to sell for double the price, but people can list at whatever they want. But yeah, it seems to be sort of around that 3,000 to 3,500 mark. Got some slightly higher listings, again some graded copies. Some people have turned this grading around very quickly and potentially try and get first to market on that, but there are quite a few there already. But yeah, free seems to be some of the cheapest I can spot, and obviously we've got quite a few above that as well. We've even got the manga Shanks already graded PSA 10. You can pick him up here raw for $1,000 US. So yeah, very expensive, but it seems to be holding out at around that sort of free mark for the Goldie Roger. If we also head on over to Buy, where you can buy from Japanese sites like Mercari, Yahoo Auction, and things like that, and it will just proxy it and then ship it to you from Buy. Obviously, again, with using Buy, though, you will have import fees depending on what country you're in. Me in the UK, I'd have to pay the shipping and then 20% on top. But yeah, let's just look on here, because this is the Japanese cards and this will show us the Japanese market. So we are searching Mercari on Buy, and as you can see, there's again PSA 10 listings, but obviously a bit cheaper than what we're seeing on eBay. However, these are in pounds, not dollars. So I mean, 4,000, you're probably looking at maybe anywhere between 5,000 to 6,000 US. But yeah, in terms of raw prices, it seems to be around sort of just under the 500,000 yen mark, which is 3,500 US dollars. So pretty much what we're seeing on eBay, if I'm honest, for the raw copies. So yeah, as you can see, plenty sold copies. We got one there for 450,000 yen, so a little bit cheaper. There's a 420 and a 400,000 nearly on that one. So yeah, quite a lot of sales have happened in the Japanese market. Let's just look to see. Oh no, we've got some sold listings. I thought I was just looking at the listings. Let's just turn that back on so we can see which ones have actually sold. And you know, generally it's going to be the cheaper ones. So all those ones that were sort of low fours, they've gone. So now let's just see kind of what the cheapest listing is. So let's just scroll down and see which one. We've got a really cheap one here. It is literally like stupidly cheap. So I'd imagine scam, extremely damaged, or probably just a fake card. If I'm honest, I'd imagine it's probably just fake at that price. It's literally less than half the price of what they're going for. So the next cheapest one that's probably legit in this case, we are looking at 375,000 yen. So that comes out at 2,600 US dollars roughly. So obviously you can get it cheaper here compared to eBay. However, as I said, this is a Japanese site. You know, you're kind of middlemaning and mail forwarding it from this seller to buyer, then to yourself. There's a little bit more involved, but obviously there's a significant difference in price. However, add the 20% import fees on top, which also may apply to the eBay sale as well. But yeah, still quite a big difference. So potentially if you're looking at picking them up, there's an option there. However, buyer and eBay, the protection you get as a buyer, extremely different. I've known lots of people to have problems with buyer if anything goes wrong, if it doesn't turn up. If it, you know, you can't just simply return it. They are in Japan, right? So very different. Obviously a significant saving there, but there's reasons as to why you would expect it to be cheaper on here as well. So yeah, cheapest one there is sort of 2,600 US dollars. And there's, you know, this one's not that far off it in terms of price, and then we kind of shoot up a bit to the 400s and then to the 500s. But another website we can check out in terms of prices is Yute, a single site for Japanese cards. Now this means this grayed out button here means it's not in stock. This is the Goldie Roger manga. So when it first came out, if they had any, it would have been available for pretty much 500,000 Japanese yen. So again, 3,500 US dollars. They don't have it in stock, so I'd imagine some may have been sold at that price. Next up, we got the manga Luffy, which was pretty much half the price. Again, it's not in stock, so it's not available to buy here at that price. And I think all of the mangas are out of stock. I don't know why they don't have images, because it's not like they're difficult to get, but it just seems the manga rares, they just don't have images at all. Next up, I think this is the Marshall manga rare, so 93. Yeah, so again, half the price of the Luffy, we're looking at 128,000 Japanese yen, which works out at about 900 US dollars. And obviously, as you can see on TCG Republic, it's a little bit more than that. And then lastly, we want to just check the buggy. Again, they don't have it in terms of the image, but yeah, about 100,000, not 100,000, about 100,000 yen nearly. That equates to like $350. So as you can see, severely overpriced, potentially on TCG Republic at 900, but you have to bear in mind that it's actually out of stock on this website, so maybe the price has gone up, but I'd be very surprised that it's gone up that much when, for example, the price on the Goldie Roger and is accurate. If not, you can get it actually cheaper than this on Buy right now. So yeah, I mean, they're all pretty expensive, especially if we do compare it to the last set where we've got 08 with the manga rare here. Like all of those manga rares and the gold manga rare, obviously, from 09 are more expensive. Like this one's 79,000 yen. So literally all of these cards here are more expensive than the '08 manga rare chase card. So yeah, as I said, I think potentially some of that can be down to there's more mangas, so they're harder to pull if there's one in particular that you are after. Obviously, Luffy and Shanks, they were always going to be very expensive and very desired manga rares out of the four. And then as you can see here, we've got some of the wanted posters. We got some of the SPs from the set. So, I mean, these are probably standard prices. I really just kind of wanted to focus in on the manga rares and also kind of compare that to some of the previous sets. I think we even had a sale of, yeah, this one that I mentioned here. We've got a sale of the chase card from '08 and it's literally graded in the PSA 10 and it's still just a fraction of the other manga rares. Now, obviously, there's also the element of this is a new set. So there's going to be more eyes on it, more people looking to buy it, pick it up and things like that than maybe the previous set. But I think overall it's quite clear that this is a really good set. Like, you've got 4 manga rares, a new manga rare which is gold, a second Luffy, second Shanks manga rare. So I mean, this is really good to see. I'm really curious as to what English prices are going to be though, because these are high prices for a Japanese release, right? These are very high prices. So to see where things are going to land, like I can't imagine this coming out and being like double the price it is in Japanese. Like, I mean, maybe that's a fair estimate for previous sets and things like that, but do we really think this is going to come out in English? And the Goldie Roger is $7,000 on the first week of release, and then the Luffy's like $3,500, and then the Shanks is like $2,000. I don't know. I mean, the Luffy and Shanks at those prices probably don't seem too outrageous, but then you have to bear in mind, like, the gold manga must be more expensive than them, and potentially quite significantly. So yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be really interesting. Obviously, I'd probably do a similar video like this when the English release comes out, and obviously this video is here so we can kind of compare as to what happened and how much more expensive the English cards do come out at. And maybe sometimes, like with a Japanese release and English release, there's the odd card that actually is more popular in the West, and when it comes out in English and actually becomes more expensive. Like, I mean, in this case, I don't really expect to see it. This makes perfect sense to me. But I've seen it in like some other TCGs and some other sets that have come out where, you know, some of the cards just kind of swap around, which is interesting to see. But yeah, I'd imagine it will come out like this, but I think it'll be really interesting to see where prices actually land for the English release. But there we go. That's all we've got for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like and subscribe. And just a reminder, if you want to support the channel, support the content, you can join as a member below. It's literally £1.99. You'll get early access to videos, so you'll be able to watch them before anyone else can. And I will literally just love you forever. So if you do become a member, thank you very much. And as always, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. See you in the next one.